Amendment
What, to limit the amount of the clips and shit?
to enforce background checks. You can bring this up. This was like yesterday. To enforce the background checks and there was a couple
What's crazy how many places don't
points.
really do the background check. Like, when I went and
Oh,
got my
I believe it.
assault rifle, it was just like, "Hey, boom, 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 go to go, you're good." Oh, no problem.
Check the box. Yeah,
The only
check the
time I had to
box.
do anything was when I bought a pistol, and I had to go to the police
Supreme Court,
station.
Second Amendment. There you go. There you go.
Supreme Court
Strikes down
protects
New
right
York's
to carry
gun
a
law
gun
restricting
outside.
concealed carry, and yeah, they're essentially saying that, like, New York put in regulations that you have to pass certain guidelines. Pull up the article so I'm not botching this so bad, but New York passed a law saying you had to pass certain guidelines or checks in order to be able to
Points.
or prove that you can conceal carry. Well, the Supreme Court just struck that down, saying you shouldn't have to check boxes in order to get access to your Second Amendment. So this is pretty big. It says in bullet points here, it says the Supreme Court struck down a New York state law requiring applicants for a license to carry a gun outside their homes to have, quote unquote, proper cause to do so. The court said the law violated the Second Amendment. The ruling is a major victory for gun right advocates who had challenged New York's restrictive law, which makes it a crime to carry a concealed firearm without a license. Top Democrats in New York condemned the decision and warned it will imperil public safety.
Well, it's the same thing like here in Michigan. We got open carry, and we've got some fucking weirdos here who open carry.
Yeah,
So
I don't understand open carry, like, myself. I
open
don't get
carry
it.
says, "Hey, I'm the target. Shoot
Well,
me
that's what I
first."
understand. Right.
You
If
know?
I had to
But
choose between a concealed carry or an open carry, I'm just going to tuck that under my shirt
what I don't
because I
like is
don't want
that
anyone to
anybody
know.
can fucking conceal a gun. Like, you shouldn't just be able to have a gun just because 'cause you're a person. I don't believe in that. Like, yeah, it's a right, whatever, but I wanna make sure because you can
Well,
kill
they're
me
right.
with that gun.
There should be people that, like, I believe in background checks. I believe in mental health checks. I believe if
That's
you're a
all you need. Yeah,
felon,
that yeah.
you should not be able
I
to.
hate that one though, felon. Like, if you're a
Okay, but
violent
you're
felon.
right. Yeah. Okay.
'Cause what
That's
if you're a
fair.
drug
Yeah.
felon? Like, you
No,
got
you're
caught
right.
with some fucking weed, like
Right, 100%,
yeah.
100%. Yeah, you gotta be specific because what are felonies are a whole other conversation. Because, like,
Yeah.
fuck, what falls under as a felony sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, violent felons, you should not be able to own a firearm. These kind of things. I support that.
If I gotta worry about somebody the problem is, like, having it's not like I was like, "Oh, well, I'm fucking smoking a Juul." It's like, "Yeah, well, that only affects me." With a gun, if you're crazy, you could shoot me. Or if you get mad, you argue with your girlfriend, and you decide, "I'm gonna shoot her one night," and you miss because you never had any thorough
Mhm.
training with a
Yeah,
fucking gun,
yeah.
and you
This
shoot your neighbor
happens,
because you don't
and
have the right type of fucking rounds, you know? And that's well, maybe you do have the right type of rounds, but not the type of rounds if you're a fucking good gun owner. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference. There's a lot of people who just don't give a fuck and think everybody should have guns, and I think everyone sane should have guns.
yeah, yeah,
Totally
yeah.
about that, but if you're fucking
I
crazy
don't think everyone should be able to vote.
no, me neither,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I think voting
My
could be.
dad shouldn't be able to vote, my grandma because the handful
Yeah.
of people who are, like, cult disbelievers of anything and are dumb as a fucking
There's a
rock,
lot of people that should not be allowed to
and
vote.
it's
There's
like, "Yeah,
just
you should
that,
get a
like,
license, you should get a license," like
license to vote. Yeah, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it's like I'm on the same page. It's like, yeah, it's a right to own a firearm in the United States, but that doesn't mean everyone should.
Yeah, your right
That's a
shouldn't
fair
infringe on my
statement, in my
rights,
opinion. Right, right.
you know?
I think that's fair. I don't think that's too controversial.
Well, and
But
just to be fair, I'm a gun owner myself and an avid fan of, guns, period, and I think that
advocate, yeah,
people
fan, yep.
definitely should have fucking weapons, but again, not
Mhm.
crazies. I know personally crazies with fucking pistols, and I'm like,
Yes,
for one,
yes. This
why do I
is
still
why
talk
you
to you?
have firearms.
Yeah, dude, it's like, what the fuck is
See,
going
and
on?
that's
Like,
it.
how did you get this?
That's a valuable conversation too. It's like there are crazies out there with weapons, firearms.
Yeah.
So you should have them too. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why should a good law-abiding citizen not have access to these? Law-abiding citizens aren't going to break the law.
No, they're exactly, exactly. The problem is the crazy ones just get it 100% purchased legally too, Honey Bunch over here. A guy that I
Yeah.
knew was crazy, shot at his wife, luckily missed her and at his child, and then was killed by police here in Michigan. You could look up the fucking case.
Yeah.
Legally
Yeah. Oh,
purchased
there's
the gun.
plenty. Oh, there's plenty.
Legally purchased the majority of people who do
The
those types of
the last
situations, not
the
shooting up
last
schools, but like
Well, and if you want to do the one in Texas, he purchased all of his shit legally too.
yeah.
So Like
So it's just about
there's
making sure they're not crazy.
That's all. And of course,
Oh,
crazy is a very general term, and it's hard to say. But I think once we start to hash that out, as we just did, violent felons, you should have background checks. If you are a child molester, if you are a domestic abuser, if you are these are pretty violent, pretty bad people. You should not have access to firearms, legal access, and I don't think that's fair. I think that's fair, and that's not
yeah.
everyone. Everyone has the right, but that's not that like everyone should have access to it though. So
Yeah, that's the problem too.